Hello everyone, welcome to Crochet with Diane and thanks for clicking on this video. As you can see, I have made a crochet beach cover up. It's long and flowing and could easily double up as a beach dress. I've made this in multiple colours as I find this to be more flattering for a beach cover up, but obviously you can make it in just one colour if you prefer. I'm really pleased on how this has turned out and very excited to share with you how to make it. I'm just as excited to wear this on the beach when I go. It is constructed simply by making 4 panels exactly the same and then attached together. I will show you step by step how to crochet the panels, and I will also guide you on how to measure for the width so you can make it just right for the size that you want. So let's get started. Okay, so the yarn that I've used in this project is 100% cotton yarn, 4-ply, and this particular brand is from Yarn and Colours Must Have. I'll leave a link in the description for where you can find this. And I used 1,250 meters in total, and a mixture in that is a mixture of 5 different colors. You'll need a 4.5mm crochet hook, some stitch markers and some scissors, and obviously a darning needle to sew in your ends. So let's get started. Okay, to start, you pick your color you want to start with and making a slip knot. We are going to make a foundation chain in multiple of 2, and this is going to be from the shoulder to the length that you want your beach cover to be. So I'm going to go ahead and do 156 chains, which is 34 inches long. So I'll pause the video here and meet you when you've finished your foundation chain. Okay, so you have your chain of 156. Now add 6. So for row 1, we're going to double crochet into the 6th chain from the hook. So back into that last chain that we did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your hook in there and make a double crochet. Then chain 2. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and double crochet into the next. Chain 2, and then skip 2 and double crochet into the next. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next. Chain 2 and skip 2, 1, 2, double crochet into the next. So continue along your foundation chain, skip 2, double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet, chain 2. So we're just coming up to the end of row 1. and this is the effect this stitch has. So to finish this row, we skip these 2 chains and double crochet into that last stitch. Okay, so we're moving on to row 2, which is going to be your repeat row. So chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and turn your work. Now the first stitch is a double crochet into the top of that double crochet from the row below. So yarn over, put your hook in the top of there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and pull through 2. Then chain 2. Then double crochet into the net at the top of the next double crochet from the row below. And chain 2. And then double crochet into the next one. And chain 2. Double crochet into the next. And chain 2. So continue along row 2 exactly like this. So you chain 2, double crochet into the top of the double crochet from the row below. I can just do that. There we go. And then chain 2, and then you double crochet into there, chain 2, and so on. And I'll see you at the end of this row. So when you've completed 4 rows, your work should look a little something like this. And now we're going on to row 5. I've actually changed colour for this row, but you can continue either in the same colour or you can alternate your colours exactly how you want them. So, and I've joined just by finishing off the light green and tying in with a knot the dark green. So to start row 5, we chain 3. And turn your work. And we're actually going to put a stitch in between as well as at the top of the double crochet from the row below. So I'll just show you what I mean. Yarn over and put your hook into a stitch in the middle of this chain 2. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, then yarn over and put a double crochet in the top of that double crochet from the row below. So put your hook in there, yarn over, pull through two, pull through two. And the same again, we're going to put a stitch in the middle of this chain two space here. So yarn over, put your hook in there, make your double crochet, and then into the top of the double crochet from the row below. And this is the effect this is having on your work. So keep going and putting a double crochet in the chain two space as well as at the top of that double crochet there. So keep going now until the end of this row, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, so we're coming to the end of row 5. Just finishing the last few stitches here. And in this last chain 5 here, we're going to skip one stitch, put in a double crochet there, then skip one stitch and put in your last double crochet to create the corner. And there is row 5. So your pattern repeat is 4 rows of repeating row 2, then every 5th row you'll repeat row 5, and that is the pattern repeat throughout. You obviously can alternate the colours as and when you would like, or you can make the whole thing in one colour. But I'll just quickly show you how then to start row 6, or continuing on with the repeating after row 5, the 5th row repeat, you switch to repeating row 2. So you will chain 5. And then turn your work. And then we're going back to the skip 2, double crochet in the next. So we'll skip one, we'll skip this one here and double crochet into the top of that double crochet from the row below. This is repeating and then chain 2. This is repeating row 2. If If you need to rewind this video just to a reminder of how to do row 2, then you can do that. So we skip 2, double crochet in the next. So there we go, we're continuing with this. So you repeat row 2 now for another 4 rows, and then do a repeat of row 5. Now if you're following along this pattern exactly, keep going in this pattern for 25 rows, and then we will start the decrease to create the V-neck. But next I'm going to show you an easy way to measure if you are doing one that's smaller or larger, and I'll just show you how to do that next. But keep crocheting here with this pattern for, if you're following along exactly, for 25 rows. So I just wanted to quickly show you how I measured to make this beach cover, and I'm making mine sort of flowy and oversized. So I've measured, I want it to be coming just past the shoulder here. So I measured from here to here for the total width of the finished garment. So let's say, for example, it was 50 inches from here to here. Then to find out what each panel, because we're making them in panels of 4 quarters, we just half that. So each panel is going to be 25 inches in width. Obviously we're then going to sew the panels together, but that just gives you a rough idea. If you're making one a different size or to fit you exactly, you know, use these measurements. If you want it to be tighter, nearer to the body, you could measure from here to here, and then divide that by 2. So then you'll get the width of each panel that you're going to make. So I hope that helps a little bit, but that's how I measured for mine. So if you are actually following along with this pattern exactly, mine, the total width for me, I've done 36 inches across. So I'm doing each panel, each quarter panel is 18 inches. So we've crocheted in total 25 rows, and as you can see, I've alternated the colours. Obviously you can alternate the colours as and when you like, or in one colour if preferred. It really makes no difference to the actual stitch pattern. So we're going to continue now. This is the part from the edge of the garment all the way up to the neckline. So now we're going to work decreases to create a V-neck. So we're on row 26, and we're going to be working the decreases. Let's just take that out. So as you can see, this row 25 was a repeat of row 5. So the next one would be a repeat of row 2. So even though we're decreasing, we're still going to create the stitch as though we are doing a repeat of row 2. So we would be doing a double crochet, skip 2, double crochet. But for the decreases, we only chain up 3. So for the row 26, chain up 3. And if you look here, you will see the next stitch would be going normally into the top of here. But we are going to be decreasing. So let me show you how we're going to do this. So yarn over, put your hook in, skip this one here and put your hook in here and pull up a loop. And then immediately we're going to put a hook in what would be the next stitch. So we follow the stitch up from the red one and it's this one. Put the hook straight in there, yarn over and pull up another loop. And you've got 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over and pull through 2. And you can see we're creating starting the decrease for the V-neck. And then for the rest of this row, you are going to continue with, as normal, of a repeat of row 2. I'll just show you. So you would chain 2 and you would skip 2 and double crochet into there and then chain 2, then yarn over, skip 2, put your next double crochet into there, just like you've been doing for the repeat of row 2 all the way down this row. So continue now and I'll meet you at the end of this row. What you might find helpful at this point is to put a stitch marker into that place where we've finished decreasing so far, so we know where to finish the row coming back. So we're at the end of this row, row 26, and I'm just putting in the last double crochet stitches here. And the last one goes into that chain 5 space to create the corner. So for row 27, chain 5, and turn your work. And it's another repeat of row 2, so yarn over, put a double crochet in here, chain 2, double crochet into the next, chain 2, double crochet into the next, and so on. Complete this row, repeating row of row 2 all the way along until you get to two stitches before your stitch marker, and we're going to decrease again. Okay, so we're coming up to the end of row 27, and we've stopped 2 stitches before the stitch marker, and we're going to make another decrease. So chain 2 as normal and yarn over and put your hook into your next stitch, pull up a loop, and then immediately put your hook into the next one as well and pull up a loop. You've got 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 3, and then yarn over, pull through 2. So now for the next row, we are going to chain 3 and turn your work. And we're going to decrease again on the way back down. So this is row 28. Yes, row 28. So it's another decrease. So chained up 3, and we yarn over, put your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, then immediately put your hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've decreased again, and move your stitch marker to here, so we know where we're at with our decreases, and then chain 2 and make your next double crochet as normal. Chain 2, double crochet in there. We're still repeating row 2. So for row 28 is another repeat now of row 2 after your decreases. So that is how we do the decreases. You will continue with this row all the way to the bottom, and then come all the way back and finish, so you have 2 stitches left, and make another decrease on the way up, and then another decrease on the way back down on the next row. And in total you want to make 10 rows of decrease stitches for the first part of your V. And you can rewind this video if you need to just remind yourself of how to do these decreases again, but crochet now for 10 rows in total of decreases. Okay, so we've made decrease stitches for a total of 10 rows. So now we are going to go back to repeating row 2. Okay, so straight from here, chain up 5. And turn your work. And double crochet straight into the top of that double crochet from the row below. Then chain 2. Then this last row was a repeat of row 5, so this one will follow the row below. Where to put the next stitch be in there. Chain 2 and double crochet into the next. So continue to crochet now as normal, no more decreases, repeating row 2 4 times and row 5 once for the pattern, and then crochet to the length that you have decided you want one quarter of your beach cover to be. For mine, I'm actually only going to need to crochet 3 more rows for 38 rows in total. Okay, so we have 1/4 of your beach cover up complete. There's your decrease for the V-neck there. So what you need to do now is just go around tidying up and sewing in the edges. And if you are doing a fringe on the bottom, you can just leave these as they are and they will blend into the fringe. So what you need to do now is make 3 more exactly the same as this. So if you want to rewind this video to watch again, you can do that, but go ahead now and make 3 more panels exactly the same. And then fringe obviously on the bottom is optional. Before we sew them together, add some fringe to the bottom, and then what I'll do is show you very easily just to sew all 4 panels together. Okay, so what you need to do now, when you've finished doing 4 panels exactly the same, you can add fringe if you like. I will leave a link in the description on a project where I made a very simple fringe if you'd like to follow that, but obviously that is optional. So I've lined up 2 panels. This will be the front left hand side, and this will be the back left hand side. And what we're going to do is by using a slip stitch, we're going to join this section here. So I've twizzled this round, so I'm working from left to right to left, and the V neck is all lined up here. So this bit will be open for the V-neck, and what we're going to do now is join the shoulder part across here. Now, if you like, you can actually just use one colour all the way across, but I'm actually going to match the colours as I go along. So, starting with the green, we're going to snip off, you don't need too much, probably about 10 inches or so will be fine. Now I'm actually going to be using a 4mm hook for this, because I want the stitches to be nice and secure. So to start, I'm going to tie on the back section, I'm going to tie on the yarn. Again, I'm happy just to tie on by tying a knot. And that's ready to go. And literally just a simple slip stitch. You put your hook in the corner of this front panel, push it through the corner stitch of the back panel, grab your yarn, pull it through and pull it through. And then slip stitch, push through the next stitch and in the corresponding stitch on the back panel, and pull through and pull through. Again into that next stitch and the corresponding next stitch, pull through and pull through. All the way along. Trying to make sure that you keep your colours together, and if it helps, you can actually put in a little stitch marker into where to keep it nice and even and straight. So keep going along until you've reached your stitch marker. So we've come up to where the stitch marker is, and I'll just take that out and finish up doing the light green colour. Pop that in there and that one in there. Last slip stitch. Then yarn over and pull through. Snip off the yarn and pull it through. And then grab your next colour, which is the green. And then tie this onto the back panel where the green starts. And to continue to slip stitch with the new colour. Pop in your hook in that first stitch there, that back stitch there. Grab your yarn. A little bit fiddly because the stitches are small, and pull through and continue with your slip stitch through into the corresponding stitch. And then do this one all the way along to here. And you can see it's already joining the two panels together. Obviously we need to sew in the ends, make it nice and tidy. So continue to use your slip stitch all the way along, change to the pink, all the way along to the point where you started to do your decreasing. And that's where you will finish joining the two panels together. So there is your first shoulder joined together, and don't worry if it looks a little bit squiggly, because when we've finished sewing it all together, we will be turning it inside out, and obviously that section looks a little better the right way. So that's one shoulder done. Now grab the other two panels and do exactly the same along the shoulder for the other two panels. Okay, so I'm hoping I've got all this on camera now. We've got the two panels where we've sewn together at the shoulder, and I've got them lying the wrong way facing up, and I've got them side by side, because now what we're going to do is, I just slide this forward, this being the front, we are going to slip stitch all the way down here, all the way to the bottom using the slip stitch, and Obviously here is where your V-neck will be and the V at the back. And we're also, so it's a bit difficult getting all of this on camera. Also going to sew using a slip stitch this side as well, all the way down to the bottom. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back here when that's done. Okay, so we have now created the back and front V by stitching down the middle and the two sections together, and I just wanted to show you what I've done at the bottom. Instead of going all the way to the bottom, on the back and the front, I've stopped approximately six inches before the bottom, just to make it loose and airy. It's a beach cover, you don't want it too tight around your legs. So the back and the front are both the same, stitched together. So there is your beach cover. This is still inside out. It all looks a bit messy right now. Once it's turned the right way, it all kind of falls into place. Now for the sleeves, let's see if I pull the camera out slightly. We'll do it on the side there, you can see. Now this is the shoulder, and this will be where your arm goes, here. And what I'm going to do is, I counted down 15 spaces on each side and put a little stitch marker in there. And I'm going to slip stitch to join the back and the front in between these two stitch markers, which creates a space to put your arm, leaving all this bottom part open and loose and flowy. Obviously you can sew all the way down if you prefer, but this is the way that I'm making mine. And just for reference, I mean, you may want to try it on at this point to see, just to see where you want, what sort of space you would like for your arm to be. For reference, this is approximately 10 inches down, which leaves plenty of room for your arm. It's nice and loose, which is what you want for running around on the beach. So go ahead, place your stitch marker, and again using a slip stitch, join the back and the front from this stitch marker to this stitch marker. And then obviously I've marked out exactly the same on the other side, join there, and that's basically your project there is finished. Sew in all your ends so it's nice and tidy, and make sure you secure the top of this V-neck nice and securely. Loop it through a few times, and on the back as well, because being the V-neck, that's going to pull a little bit, so you want that nice and strong there. But basically that is how to make this beach cover. And if you've got any questions at all, please do leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you're off on holiday, enjoy your beach cover. I'll see you next time.